the computer and say good morning, everyone. And I was remiss because it was Maria who said, "Hey, are you going to train this Monday?" And I was like, "Oh, great idea." So I decided to put in geographic farming because, as you all know, we will be at Versus Targeted Prospecting as we're doing your relationship planning. This is something that I am really near and dear about. Target prospecting is more important to me than farming, but farming is important also. And a lot of you sometimes look at me like, is there a difference? So I thought we'd take a few minutes today to kind of go over it and then talk a little bit about how it's changed and how you can do it a little bit more effectively, right? So that's kind of what we're going to do today. And if you don't like it, you can hop off. No, I'm just kidding. See ya. There you go. Like, how do you like that one? How about them apples, right? There you go. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And by the way, I wanted to say thank you to all of you who joined. We had such successful giving thanks luncheons. We had about, what was it, Jill, like 35 people here we had about 23 people at Lake Nona, and I think I had 12 people in Ocala. So actually, Maria was a road warrior. She came to all three of them. Peyton joined us in Ocala. Janet Allen joined us in Lake Nona. So it was so nice to see people even going to different offices. So it was just so wonderful. So honestly, we had about 75% of our team at all the Giving Thanks luncheons. So I wish I could have said 100, but I know how life is, right? It's never possible to get everybody. And there were so many people who were like, "I'm coming." I'm not. Poor Dawn Giacchetti was up to her, ankles in water. There was like a whole problem with one of her listings. And then we had a closing that almost didn't happen. Michelle was following them to the closing table, but it happened. So there was always things that happened. But I do want to thank you all who were able to attend, and the ones who weren't, we missed you. But looking forward to December 3rd, right? December 3rd. Let's make sure I say the right date because it would, I think it is too, but yes, it's December 3rd from 5 to 8 at 60 Vines, which is going to be awesome. And that is our Christmas party, and it's going to be so much fun. So make sure you're there. And please do RSVP because I'm trying to figure out our menu right now as we speak. So with that said, but also I think I'm going to try for next Monday I'm going to call them to see if I can get the tour for the facility right here in Sand Lake for People One. So I'll try to do that for 10 o'clock if that works for everybody. And then that way we can go over and see all the awesome facilities and wonderful medical solutions that they have to offer you guys for 160 a month. It is not insurance, it is medical solutions. They have doctors, they have therapists, they have included medicines, they have it all. They have cardiology stuff, they have x-rays, they have everything for 160 a month. It's great. So if you, I'm going to set that up and then I'll send it out to you, but hopefully I'm going to try to do it for next Monday at 10 o'clock. So we would, I'll be here and then heading over, or we could just meet over there, but I'll schedule it all out so you'll know. Okay. So anybody who'd like to join me for that, I'm going to try to schedule that for next Monday at 10. Everybody good on that? All right, great. Now with that said, we're going to share and we're going to jump over here. Oh, and we're going to make this big. Yep. Here we go. Yep. There we go. And we're going to play from the start. Okay. So the whole concept of obviously, hello, Miss Maria, of farming targeted prospecting is growing business. And it's a big part, in my opinion. I love Ninja, but this is also a part of Ninja because it's about adding people to your sphere, right? And that's the point of this. So there is a difference between geographic farming and prospecting. A lot of people always look at me like, really? So we're going to talk a little bit about what they are, how they're the same, and how they're different. They're both actually need to be targeted. They both have to have a purpose, and they both need to be based on data. What I tend to see on farming is people throw a lot of spaghetti at the wall and hope something sticks. You could do that. Listen, if you got a lot of money and you just like to spend it on marketing, we have beautiful marketing. Okay. So there's no better place than Sotheby's to do that. And you might get some stuff, right? Because you throw a wide enough net, eventually you're going to catch something, right? I mean, that's some people do that. But I personally, that's not my style. I'm just going to say it that way. I believe I'm doing it with data, doing it with purpose, being targeted. And I should put another word on here called repetitive. Because if you're not doing the same people over and over again, what's the point, in my opinion? Right? It's kind of like we give you $200 for every listing to send postcards, which could be just listed or just sold. That is a form of farming, right? That's not prospecting, it's farming because it's postcards that are general. It's about a house, so it's not specific. Does that make sense? Because if Brady lives in the community, Maria lives in the community, and Bobby lives in the community, you're all getting the same postcard. You see how it's not specific? However, it is somewhat targeted because it's about a certain demographic of economic demographic, right? There's a price point there. So we're not going to send it to a $300,000 community when this community is 500 or a million, or you see what I'm saying? So there is an economic target there, right? Because you're sending it to a community that is like kind. Does that make sense? So there is some form of targeting there. That's why farming is somewhat targeted. Does that make sense? However, here's the problem, which I don't like. If you're using your postcards and you're sending the just listed, well, you can send just listed, but how many people do you think you actually sell that way?
I throw mine in the garbage when they send them to me.
Now, here's the thing though. If you're trying to get a lot of listings in that community, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. But then you better also sell when you send to the same community. You better send again when you list in the community. You better send again when it's about hammering the same people over and over again, right? Because realistically, if they already live there, why are you telling them you just listed a home? You're not obviously going to find the buyer probably by sending them a just listed. The point of the just listed is you're trying to say, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm listing in your community. Does that make sense? So you got to understand when you're sending any type of marketing out, there's got to be a purpose for what you're doing. And you better be clear on it because guess what? Whether it's our money or your money, it's really your money, right? So be purposeful with your money. The other thing is, if you use it for just sold, first of all, please do not put the information about the house because nobody cares. The house already sold. Does that make sense? So when you just go ahead and send what they have in there, yeah, it's pretty. But what does it accomplish? Nothing. Sorry, did I say that out loud? You have to say, get all that stuff out. You have to put something about the house and you have to put the address because they make us do that. But you have to say, in my opinion, how you helped the seller in a unique way. That is the important thing, right? Now, if you're going to send it to a community, don't make it a one and done. You're never going to hear from that community again. In my opinion, that's a waste of money and time. So the point is that needs to be part of a targeted prospecting plan. So if you are going to use your $200, you should be sending to the same community. I don't care where the home sold, which is why we're not wasting time talking about what the home had. Because nobody cares. It's sold, right? We're talking about how we help the seller in a unique way and how you can help them also, right? That's what we're implying. And please don't talk about yourself. Nobody cares. I'm so sorry to tell you that. I don't mean to break your hearts. I care because I love you all, but they don't. Okay, they'll love you eventually. But when you're marketing to them, they don't care. And dear God, if you ever write $1 Million Producer,
Yeah.
I will cry for you because you just told them you barely can pay your dues. Yeah, thank you. Yes, Anna Maria, right? Yeah, it's painful, right?
Not 1970.
Yeah, no.
Mhm.
Nobody cares about your accolades. And please, like, if you're sending a letter, which we're going to talk about, white space is your friend. Don't shove in so much information. They're never going to read it. Guys, you don't read. I mean, let's be real. None of you read. I mean, I don't read either. You guys know that. I mean, honestly, if I get a long email and we all know who writes them, and I know I have to read them, I have to go, focus, focus, get through it, take notes. I mean, seriously, we don't, right? Bullet points, white space, brief is the way to go because people have very short attention spans. Let's be honest. You got to catch them. Everybody knows what a hook is, right? You got to get them with a hook and get them with very brief information. And guess what? It's not about you because nobody cares. So if you spend the whole first paragraph introducing yourself, you lost them, it's in the trash. So if you do that on a postcard, well, that's a beautiful, shiny waste of trash. Does that make sense? Okay, moving on.
What's an example of something?
Well, we're gonna, don't worry, I got you covered. Oh, as usual, Maria, as usual, she's skipping ahead always. Okay, prospecting versus what I like to call target prospecting. My favorite way to explain it is guerrilla marketing. Yeah. You need to be creative, strategic with a personal message. Okay. You need to find a reason to help someone. Now, look at this. Sometimes situations can be tough, but difficult roads can often lead to beautiful destinations. Now, look at this. I know it may be challenging to think about your next step, but we have a program that might help. With our program, you could potentially continue to live in a similar home, perhaps even in the same community. If you would like to explore some options, please feel free to reach out by phone, email, or text. Does anybody know what program I wrote about there? Nobody knows. Nobody. I left this in there. This is a little old, but I wanted to show you a creative, and this actually got a lot of play. Got a lot of play. And it looks like a beautiful card, doesn't it? So everybody opened it. This is the home ownership, the pathway to home ownership, the one where you the lease to own. Jesus Lord, now I just went blank. You rent to own program through God, Lordy Bub. It was actually part of Anywhere too for a long time there. We still probably have it. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? The home ownership, realtors did it too. Basically, you have somebody who wants to wants to rent a home. So all of the properties now they give you the rental information. They become your buyer. So now as long as they show what the rental cost would be. So they buy the home from you. Your person now becomes the renter for them. They get two numbers. They get the rental price and the purchase price. They have 5 years to buy the home. It goes up 5% each year. Good Lord, it's pathway to ownership. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
You're talking about Leastone.
But it was a company that did it for years.
Diddy, started with a D.
No, it's a big one. I can't believe I can't think of the name of it.
I mean, yeah, it's not a.
And it was a
mortgage or anything, it's just-
No, it was a big program that did it. It's a REIT, and basically they couldn't sell them. But it was a huge program. It was part of Anywhere too for a long time. Yes, it was a great program. And it was, after the COVID, it kind of went down a little bit. It had to be in good school districts. It had the great website that you could have your own name, that you put your name on it. And basically it would turn a purchased property into a rental.
It's actually a good program.
It was a fabulous program. No, it was great. What's it called?
It's Home Partners of America.
Lynn, I was going painfully broke there. Home Partners of America. Fabulous program. Are they still around, Lynn? Because I know there was some
I have
problem.
not come across them for years, but I
Mhm.
remember I did one of those before years, long time ago.
We loved them. Home Partners of America. We did a lot of deals with them.
Personally did some.
I used to use them.
Did you, Angela? They were great, right? Home Partners of
I use
America.
them all the time in Sarasota.
Yeah.
It helped me sell so many stinking listings. I honestly, since I
Yes.
moved here, I don't even know if it's around, but listen,
I don't know.
guys,
We should look at
That's like-
that.
fun idea.
Home Partners of America. Someone check it out on your website. Home Partners of America, they were fabulous. They would turn it into like a 30-day cash close. They didn't do inspection. I mean, they didn't do appraisals, but they did inspections. It was fabulous. And basically, your person now becomes their renter. It was fabulous. And they become your cash buyer. Home Partners of America, they were fabulous. The head person came into ERA and we did a ton of business with them. But this is what we did. We sent these cards out. And because at that time, there was a time when people were in trouble, and that was a great way they could stay in their community. And then in the future, if they wanted to buy, they could, because they were guaranteed the price, and it went up 5% a year because it was a REIT. And so they were guaranteed that's what they were giving to their investors. Do you see that? Blackstone shut it down. Well, that's not a surprise. It was so great. But my point was, when you find a program like that, we saw a need in the market. This is the point. You find a reason to help someone. Fabulous targeted prospecting program. You follow what I'm saying here? That was a great one. Loved that one. All right. So when you're picking your luxury farm area, now let's talk a little bit more again. Hold on. Before I talk about how to pick your farm area, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to talk about a little bit different. What is the difference a little bit more between a farm and a target prospect? Sometimes they can be both, guys. Sometimes your farm can also be a target prospect, but this is how I look at the difference. Your farm is somewhere you want to be the luxury expert. You want to get to know them. You want them to know you. You want this to be the area that you farm for years and years to come, okay? That is truly your farm. A target prospect is not that. I say to you, we need to raise your average sales price. Many of you have had that conversation with me. This is something I say on a regular basis. We cannot do that in a farm area, because farming, we all know how to farm, right? What is the first thing you have to do? You have to clear the land. You have to prepare the soil. You have to then get it ready to sow the land with all the beautiful seeds. And then you have to water it. Then the sun has to shine and then it has to grow. How long does that take? It took me a long time to even say that, right? It takes a while. So to truly grow a really beautiful farm that will honestly give you beautiful leads for years and years to come, it takes a good year to start seeing. Could you see something quicker than a year? Occasionally, but realistically, to have a farm really start paying off takes a good year. Right. But it's a great thing, but that is not going to raise your average sales price in the time frame that I'm talking to you in. So to do that quicker is target prospecting, which is my favorite thing because I'm about speed and I don't have patience. Now, I'm not saying you don't do both. Do you notice that on our forms, they have both? Because one is about longevity, right? List to last. I say those words too. You guys hear these things out of me all the time. So farming is a great concept. That is something you should be working towards. Now, a farm doesn't have to be a community. It has to be a niche. It has to be something specific and attainable that people get to know you as, right? You could be the equestrian expert in Ocala. You could be a lakefront expert in Windermere. You could be, right? There are things that you could be known for that could be lifestyle related. So your farm could be more than a neighborhood. It is just harder to break into that, which may take you more than a year. So be prepared for that. But in the interim, you still have to raise your average sales price, don't you? Because I'm going to be after you. So that means you have to target prospect. So that is even more this concept, finding a reason to help someone. There was another great one. Do you guys remember when that horrible hurricane hit Winter Park and all the homes in Winter Park were really damaged? My target prospect for that was, don't fix your home. Sell your home. Let someone else fix it with the renovation loan. Move on to somewhere else. Great results from that target prospect. Another great target prospect, which was hugely successful, Windermere High School. Windermere High School is moving in, and what an opportunity, because it wasn't supposed to be there. and people were fighting. It was a huge battle. It actually was a lawsuit against the county, against communities. It was huge. Orange County School District against the county was the actual lawsuit that came out, but it was communities against it was huge. And so it was a great target prospect because you either were for it or against it. There wasn't many people who were pretty benign to it, unless you were further out, right? So great reason to get listings or buyers, right? Fabulous target prospect. You got to find out what's happening. There's a lot of things that cause polarity. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for something that's causing, for example, down in Lake Nona, they were putting a road through the Meritage community. Fabulous. Some people loved it. Some people didn't, like the people who lived in that community. Beautiful opportunity for a target prospect. Where do you find this stuff, guys? Growth Spotter. Growth Spotter is going to tell you all this stuff before it's happening. You need to be up on this stuff to know, to be able to get that information out. Listen, in Windermere, all that fight, they moved the stupid stadium down the road. That was retarded. My poor kids, several kids were hit by cars. It was ridiculous. They had to ride their bikes to the stadium. And then just last summer, they sent us a note and said, hey, we're going to move the stadium. Well, how does that just happen? Whose palms got grease on that one? Another fabulous target prospect. I don't know who used it, who went after it, but I can tell you Oxford Moore, who backs right up to it. We had several people move from there. Because how happy are they going to be with all those lights staring at them? Because that was one of the hugest reasons that they moved it down. So right there, Oxford Moore, those homes are $1.5 million to $2 million. If you didn't go after that, that's your fault, because that I shared with everybody. And I don't do listings. So there you have it. Beautiful target prospect. Find a reason. Another great target prospect. Y'all hear me talking about this all the time. Expireds. They need to sell. They couldn't sell. Your job is to figure out why they didn't sell and to solve their problem. The easiest target prospect in the world, because they're sitting there with a bullseye on their head. We know. There they are. They're right there. We don't even have to look for it. It's like so easy. It's like taking candy from a baby. It's so easy. My favorite target prospect. So do we see the examples of what a target prospect is versus a farm? Anybody want to share an idea for target prospect? I have so many ideas for target prospects. I come up with them all the time. They're so easy. So now let's look at a couple other ones. How do you choose the right luxury farm? Well, of course I say luxury, because here's the different thing here, guys. Farming, you are picking how much money you want to make. Remember, when we're deciding farming, we're going to plan for years to come. Why would you ever plan for years to come to have an average salary? You're with Sotheby's, for God's sake. Right? Like, this is my point. If you're going to put money into this and you're going to plan for years to come, this is where you need to plan the luxury farm. Does that make sense? So I purposefully said luxury farm because that's why you're with us. And that's why we need to be doing this, because who else should be owning the luxury farms? Anybody? Right? So you want to pick the high value markets. Now, again, could be based on community, could be based on lifestyle, right? There's ways that we could do this, but you need to focus on turnover and high rate of return. So don't go pick somewhere that you can't tell what's turning, because that's not going to help you. It has to be data driven. You have to be able to figure out the numbers and know what's actually turning over, because if you can't figure that out, you're going to waste your time, energy, and money. You're just going to get annoyed by it, and you're not going to be sending it out. If you're farming, you need to send something every month. Every month. And this is going to take you, like I said, a year to even get traction. Now, I love Home Life because it's a one and done, but I don't like it every month. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, it could be varied, and I might change my mind depending on what your farm was. But in most communities, I wouldn't send it monthly, and I'm going to tell you why. Because the majority of Home Life, which I could grab one, but it says like basically what's sold, what's, it's cool. It gives you a nice market like update of what's happened, right? But here's the problem, guys. Most communities, not a lot's changed in a month, right? So if you're sending it every month, people might start like not looking at it. So to me, you could set up Home Life every other month, which is what I like. There's two good things about that. One, they might be like, oh, I forgot this is really nice. I want to look at it again. Plus, they have other cool little things on that Home Life. There's trifolds, there's different ones that you could look at. The other cool thing about that is that it gives that area to you exclusively. No one else can sign up for it. Yeah,
I'm gonna ask the company.
ask it.
Home.
All right, please hold. Oh, I'm sore from working out. Help like
I'll be the dummy. I asked what it was. I'll be the dummy in the room, I don't mind.
No, not in my mail or.
Yeah.
Where can I find that?
And then they'll get.
It's going to be like this.
Yeah, it's gonna be like postcard, but they got sent me the postcard.
Home Life example. Home Life example.
They're most likely to sell.
I don't know where mine went, but there are postcards, there are trifolds. We can ask Claire to bring some, and they give you basically like rundowns. I'll have Claire bring some of what's happened. Kind of, you remember Real Authority?
Oh, yeah.
It's like a Real Authority, but so much nicer. It's through us, through My Marketing Matters. It was created for us. I have some in Lake Nona. I can bring them over. Yeah, they're beautiful. There might be in the conference room. I don't know. I had them, they disappear, but I'll try to find some. Those are fabulous. Every other month.
And we order them specifically for.
It could be
us.
yes. You have to do at least, I think 200. I think it's 200 at a time.
You have to design them?
No, they design them all. They're already done for you. It's a set and forget. You do it with Claire. And they are, if you pick an area or whatever, no one else can do that. So it makes it exclusive. Oh, it has like the solds, it has a cool little lifestyle piece. It talks all about you. It's really nice. They're
They print
beautiful.
all the time.
Yes, they do it all.
Do I need to unpack that? I think I want to.
Okay, Claire needs to do a thing on Home Life. Okay.
Yeah, no, That's the.
Yep, Claire, Home Life. Yep. So I love Home Life. Home Life is the best. Then on the off months is when you send maybe a handwritten note, maybe an equity letter, maybe something else to the same community or your niche, whatever your farm is. But I feel like unless it's a big community, which I don't recommend doing too big a community, probably not a lot has changed. So when it says just sold, we can look at it on My Marketing Matters here too.
Like Halloween, but I don't like it because it shows every time the.
Yeah, the same data because it doesn't change that much. And so it looks like you're just sending the same piece every month. Yeah. So this is better because it'd be like exciting when you're getting it the next month. Right. So that's my point. I love that. And that's why you have to pick a community with turnover, because if it's a community that nothing sells, well, there's going to be a very short little thing, right? So you have to find a piece where something sells. So I can help you find a good farm. We find a farm similar to how we find a target prospect, but they're different. So when I'm looking for a target prospecting with you guys, oftentimes I'm trying to find different factors that we can write about, right? Like what's happened to equity? Has equity increased? Now, if I'm doing a farm, I don't necessarily care if the equity's increased, but if I'm writing an equity letter, I need that, right? That's a data point that's critical. I like to see have more homes sold versus last year, because that's maybe a data point I write about. I don't necessarily care about that in a farm, right? But I do want to know that homes have sold, because if no homes are selling, that's a terrible farm. right? Because there's no rate of return. I need to look at turnover rate, which we're going to look at. What is turnover rate? Let's take a peek. Oh, that's target prospecting. Hold on. Where's my turnover rate? Here's turnover rate. You take the total number of homes that have sold in the last year and you divide them by the number of homes in the community. That's what's going to give you your turnover rate. Now, here's the problem. If your community only has 25 homes, well, you only need to sell like 3 and you're going to have an amazing turnover rate. So I personally prefer to have a community of about 100 homes. I think 100 is a decent number of homes. When you do that, you'll have a decent turnover rate, right? And I like a turnover rate of at least 8. To me, that is a good turnover rate for a farm. If I'm farming it, if I'm putting money into it, do I want less than that? Now,
No, I'm just saying.
but I'm going to say this with a caveat. If this community is an average sales price of 1.6 million and up, and they're selling in 45 days, and the turnover rate's 6.5, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, right? Because I'm going to look at some different factors and see, as long as it is turning, as long as when I get one, I don't have to sit on the market for, 180 days, right? Yeah, or a year, even worse, right? I'm all right with that because I know that I will also not rely solely on that farm because I'm going to target prospect as well, right? If I'm doing a $500,000 community, would I do that? No. But if I was, I would definitely require my turnover rate to be 9, right? I would want to hire because I'm putting money into that. Right, right. So it's going to be big. But if I sell one home for 1.6, I feel pretty good about that, right? So this is where you have to kind of go, okay. So again, when you're farming, you're looking at turnover, you're looking at days on market, you're looking at average sales price. Sales pace is also important because some communities, now Ocala is a really weird one. And Angela, you know this better than anyone because it's seasonal, super seasonal. But you might want to farm certain communities that are seasonal at certain times and other communities that are seasonal at other times because you have that in Ocala. Based upon you've got your horsey time and then you've got like other times of the year. So you might want to farm different communities that have different pacing. I would probably look at that. Here in Orlando, we're not seasonal like that, but we do have some communities. Obviously, if you're doing, I would never farm an investment community. No, that's not a good farm. But I'd target prospect one all day long, right? But I would, for example, it's like if you're farming the villages, that's a terrible farm in my opinion, because it's super seasonal. But sometimes that is your farm. So now you're going to have to do 2 farms because you're going to be dead in the water for the summer. Like Keith. Is Keith on? Dead in the water in the summer. So you're going to have to target prospect and do other things in the summer because it's very hard to move those farms because nobody's coming, right? Not to say you can't sell it, but you just got to know it's going to be dry. Maybe you're going to be traveling. I don't know. But you just have to know that. You have to know your sales pacing. Size of community. The last thing, which is critical, and I say this, critical to understand is your competition. Now, I love to say we have no competition. We don't. But unfortunately, the other people who live there don't realize that. And this is the problem. Because a lot of times, like I hate to say this, Keens Point, that's a mess. Nobody owns it, but there's so many realtors who live in Keens Point. So many, like the Crofts. She's sweet. He's annoying. I can't stand him. Yeah, our kids were the same age and he has twins, I have twins, and anyway. And he's obnoxious. And I'm just gonna say it. And he thinks he's good. He's really not. But he gets listings because he lives there.
Yeah.
Right? The truth of the matter. Croft. But this is the point, and so you're gonna have people that will get listings or like Isleworth Realty.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I mean, let's be real. They're terrible, but they still get listings because they have their own realty office inside the gates, like Lake Nona Realty. Doesn't mean we can't go after them, but we have to understand, like Isleworth Realty, forever, or Lake Nona Realty, the even worse, they won't let us show the amenities. Oh, no, we can't show the amenities. They have to go with us. Yeah, they have done everything to take away our rights as listing agents in there. So these are things. Do you have a question, Anna Maria? Or are you? Okay, you're good? Okay, great. So these are some things, and I'm just gonna say, you already saw my legs, I'm sore. I mean, I've been doing leg day, but I hate to run. My kids run, they're like, Mom, let's run. I'm like, no, let's not. I'll do your papers, I'll help you with all that school stuff, but do not make me run because I'll be cranky. I do not like to run. So why do I want to run uphill? No, I want to coast downhill. So I'm not going to look for a community where somebody like Diana Desborough has 50% of the community because her husband and the whole Brazilian thing. No. So to me, I'm going to look at the competition and see what percentage of the community has been sold by certain realtors. Doesn't mean they're good. We all know that that's not the case, but I am going to look at that. It's kind of like oh God, what's that one that here in Dr. Phillips? It's a weird community and everyone seems to like it. We've done listings in there, but it's a weird community. It's a heavily Indian population. Oh God. Anyway, we've done a bunch of listings in there, but
Phillips Landing?
Thank you, Linda. Phillips Landing. I wouldn't farm Phillips Landing personally myself. If you want to, go right ahead. But you get the listing if you can get the listing, because what's her face that's been in there for forever?
Ann Barkey.
Thank
Barkey.
you, Ann Barkey. There's a reason Ann gets the percentage of listings that she gets, and she's feeling better. Exactly. And the other thing is, let's say you get the listing. Now you got to try to sell that thing. Now, unless it's been updated, boy, good luck with that one. Buena suerte. Yeah, because it's a special one. 90s. It's not just 90s. Let's look at the type of styling of the 90s. What country are we from? Yeah, it's just, it is diverse. It is diverse. So I'm just saying, look, maybe that is your cup of tea and you like a challenge, go right ahead. But for me, I think there's a lot of communities. I'd rather try to go for a Waterford Point, which is old, but beautiful, big lots, and those things sell quick and all day long. You know what I mean? So I know my communities and I know which ones sell fast, and I don't know, but it's your call. You get to pick your farm, not me. And you can do whatever you want. I don't, but those are the things I'm looking at, right? I'm looking at how quick it sells, right? I'm looking at also, which I did not put here, but I also like to look at the price drop that it sells for. It's another thing. I didn't write it here, but I do look at that too. The percentage that it listed to the percentage that it sells at. I do look at that too. Now, sometimes I don't look at it completely because a lot of times it has to do with the person who listed it, but sometimes it also has to do with the community if you're not familiar with the community, because it could have something to do with, like we just spoke about. So these are things that, yes, exactly. Sand Lake Hills. So you just have to think about these things. So these are just things that you want to think about. Okay. Now let's go back over here and talk about, of course, expired listings. The other thing is underrepresented areas. Sometimes you'll find exclusive neighborhoods and you're like, I can't believe there's nobody really in there. We find that a lot. There's like some beautiful, like what is that? Lake Sawyer Sound. Nobody keeps listing in there. This just like out there. And that's a nice community, small. But nobody, it's just, that is a community I would pick off for sure. Just Target Prospect because it's too small, but I would definitely go in there for sure. So there's a lot of communities. Estancia. Who's in Estancia? Nobody. Yeah, the Taylor Morrison community in Windermere, that's a great community, Estancia. So there's communities out there that, I would definitely be looking at. Are you doing Estancia? You don't even know. So clearly, no. Yeah. Okay. So here are some of the other ones. We talked about Growth Spotter. Inman's a great one. Urban Land Institute is great. Florida Realtors, NAR, Orlando Business Journal, RISMedia. These are all great places to find the reasons why someone might want to move, might need to move, might want to move in to create a target prospecting. Now, the other thing is you could also find buyers because people want to move to an area. And then from there, send out that you have buyers looking for a home. Great way to get the seller, right? So that's another way you could create that. But that's target prospecting. Right. Now, oh, I think that came out of the way. Okay. Also, you want to use the targeted prospect to attract your high net worth customers. So absentee owners and vacation homeowners, luxury expired listings, all of these things, wealthy relocating executives. These are things you can also try to use to target for these type of target prospecting. You can be doing all of these. Investors and developers are great. Retirees, downsizing, and sports and entertainment customers. Other great ways to target. How to farm the luxury sector successfully. Again, mailing high-end market reports. Again, Home Life is fabulous. Hosting exclusive local events is another great way. You want to get to know people and to have people know you. So I've had a lot of people contact me personally because they know who I am. And that's because I'm constantly getting out there. So I'm going to say, Lauren Ensley, are you on? She said she was coming on, but I don't see her. So Lauren Ensley has been doing a great job of she's been written up now, I think 3 times. She's been writing articles about lifestyle and different, more about women purchasing, which is a huge sector now of women buying. And so, just if you can come up with a topic that you're kind of a specialist in or become a specialist in something and start writing about that, Elise can help you because Elise helped Lauren with her articles that she wrote get published. So she's been published now 3 times. These are the kinds of things that you want. And when they get published, guess what? When people put you into chat, that's when you suddenly start coming up as an expert in these things. And this is what's important. So that's how you get to know a lot more people. That's important. Door knocking strategically, Brady, because he likes to door knock and that's okay. But for VIP events, only. Yes. Yes, VIP events are fabulous. So if you're doing an open house, you want to have a VIP event. But again, don't think if you're doing a broker open, like if you're in a gated community, obviously you're not doing an open house, right? But you're going to do a broker open. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't door knock the neighbors and invite them to the broker open to see if they don't have a friend or family that they might want to be their neighbor. Go around with a neighborhood report. This is a great door knock opportunity. Now, I wouldn't do that in a $5 million neighborhood. Maybe not. Look, I would say in that Element community where we are with Peyton, you might have been able to do that over there because those people are really nice. So it depends on the community, really. Maybe not in an Isleworth, right?
Yeah.
But in a smaller community like that Element community, maybe I would do it over there. It just depends on the community. But have a really nice piece that you're giving out. That is something that makes sure you're giving them something really nice of value. Digital retargeting ads are fabulous. Creating high-touch email lists, obviously. Leveraging luxury referral sources. This is really important. Make sure that you are building a relationship with your wealth managers, your concierge professionals, your attorneys. If you guys have not reached out to, Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, CBS, whoever in the wealth arena, they do not know real estate, and they would love to have a real estate partner who can provide information on the market because it makes them look better. That's the point. Now, you better know what the heck you're talking about. But if you can help provide them with information, and take them out to lunch and say, I'd love to get to know you. A lot of times my customers are looking for a wealth manager, and I'm interviewing to find a good wealth manager to have to send to my customers. And I would love to meet with you, and then say, also I'd love to be a resource for you as well. So if you need any information on real estate, or if you're ever doing any kind of events and you need someone to come talk or host something, please let me know. I'd be happy to do that. Yeah.
What is digital retargeting ads?
Oh, so that's like AdWorks. Are you familiar with AdWorks?
Just paying.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, but the AdWorks, so for example, if you have a beautiful listing, you're going to put it through AdWorks, because then it's going to follow people around.
Following. That's the
Mhm.
retargeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, but those are really great for branding, and those are important for branding for
So
luxury.
you'll see the same one, it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah,
Different.
just like every time I buy something really nice, it
Delete it.
follows me. Yeah, and now I have to buy another one. That's why I own far too many pairs of Tory Burch sandals, because they followed me everywhere, and I'm like, damn, that pair is cute too. Yeah. Yeah, and now I have many pairs. Yeah, it's a problem. Yes. So, but the point is, you have to establish your presence in the farm area. So it's not just sending things out. You have to get to know the people there. And obviously, it doesn't happen overnight, right? So the great thing is, you want to find out who lives there, what do they do, who wants to move there, why do they want to move there. If these folks are into, maybe they have a lot of garages, maybe they're into cars, kind of find out what kind of thing it is. So that way, if you're hosting something about cars, then you can invite the neighborhood. The thing is to try to, if it's your farm, you want to kind of figure out, obviously we're in a luxury neighborhood, right? And a lot of luxury neighborhoods may have 5, 6 car garages, that kind of thing. So Mike, you're into cars, maybe you're doing a car event, then you, being one of the sponsors or something, would invite your farm to come to not that you're paying for them, right? But you're inviting them to this event. That would be a great way to get to know them outside of the farm. Does that make sense? Have you done that? But now you will. See, this is a good way to tie together, and then they see you outside of just real estate also, and they get to know you a little bit as a person. Because the most important thing with high net worth individuals is they like to do business with people they like, and more business is done outside of real estate than inside of the real estate sector. Does that make sense? So if you can find something, if it's a golf community and you're into golf, invite them to different golf things. I mean, that is the point of it, right? When you're building a farm, you're creating relationships. So you have to try to think about that. It's not just about sending them what's happening in their market, what's happening with their values. If you're just doing that, it's very surface level. You have to do more than you're trying to build a relationship with someone. You're never going to build a relationship if all I do is say, hi, how are you? Right? That's basically what your market value is. Hi, how are you? Except in a high net worth community.
Do what?
Yeah, they will. Right. We don't.
Come on.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's better to really know this thing.
All right. So again, when you're doing geographic farming, make sure that your farming component has direct mail, which could be your home life, a digital component. So remember, the great thing about Facebook, and I don't say that all the time because sometimes Facebook really drives me crazy, but you can still upload your custom list. So you go to Remind, you download, or I go with you and download for you, your contacts. You go into your Meta Business Suite, and you can upload your custom list. Now, what happens is when you post, you can post interesting things. Maybe it's about golf, maybe, but you can post it directly to those people. And Facebook, based upon the list, and it gives you a spreadsheet of what they want you to put in there, tries to find those people on Facebook. So you can post direct to the custom list. Okay. So you want to do the social, you want to do the digital aspect. So we'll have the emails so you can create active pipe emails to them. Now, they cannot be annoying. So the first thing you want to do is put them on Insider. That is the most benign thing you could put anybody on. I don't know how many people ever unsubscribe to Insider, right? Like Linda has got, I'd say probably all of Dr. Phillips on Insider. Linda, have you ever had anybody unsubscribe to Insider? Or not. Okay, but I don't know that anybody's ever unsubscribed. And then the active component is how you get to know them. Because if they don't meet you face to face, what do you expect? Like I had one advisor, she was just sending postcards to this community, and then she joined the board of directors. And she said, Carrie, I don't understand it. Nobody's using me to list their home. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you one thing. Nobody likes anybody on the board.
Mhm.
So that's a terrible idea. If you want to get to know people, people hate the people on the board. It's a terrible, they're the people who tell you, no, pay your dues. Don't put the basketball court hoop out. Like, yeah, no, it's a terrible idea. If you want to make friends, do not join your BOD. I mean, I get it if you're trying to put your pool up and you want to break all the rules and do all those things, and you want to have them changed. Oh, I don't know who did that. Me and my husband, I got him on the ARB board and I joined the board. But then as soon as you do those things, you get off the board. Changed all the rules and I hopped off. Yeah. Yeah. But then you get off the board. Yeah, that's not a good way to make friends with the community. So think about what you're going to do. That is a great way to meet people. I have had advisors around the holiday time actually do a food drive. That's a nice way to do it, where they're actually, giving things actually to people too, or asking people if they want to donate. Another one did, this was an interesting one. I don't know how well it worked, but she got a one of those trucks that do the shredding. She did a shredding thing and went through. I don't know how many people have stuff to shred, but I thought that was an interesting thing. Whatever. But anything that you can do that's community based is a great idea. We've had plenty of people do pie days, and you could offer pies. Now, if you're going to do that, you're welcome to use the office. Have, they come to the office, you can have whatever ciders, whatever you want here. I don't really care. And they can come and get their pies from here. I don't really care. I've had people do where they have had a photographer set up here in my offices, and they've had them come in on the weekends or whatever and take holiday photos. The concept is people like free stuff. And, you could say for, Eagle Creek or XYZ community, or Eagle Creek's a huge community or whatever, come on, we're doing a photo day. Come on into our office and get your free holiday photo. I bet a lot of people would show. You're just going to have to be there to man it. I would have people there to help you and have a photographer there. And, you probably can get a lot of good PR from that. So these are all things that you're welcome to do. Make sure you clean up after yourself, because Jill or Cindy will be mad if you don't. But yeah, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about having the offices, guys, right? And they both have parking lots, and so you could do it in Ocala too. So whatever you want, welcome to do those things. But the point is, you need to actively get to know the people. And they need to get to know you as a person, as a resource, as a friend. That's the key, so that they want to use you. Does that make sense? So that's that. I'm going to stop the share. Oops, and people sat there and I didn't let them in, and I'm evil. Sorry. Do I have any questions about anything we covered? So I didn't go into the MLS because you've all seen me pull numbers out. But again, to go over the difference, target prospecting is specifically finding a need, a reason, and it's to get in, to get out, to find the diamond in the rough. It doesn't matter. You're not trying to get that community to be your farm. But can you target prospect in your farm? Absolutely. So if your farming community also happens to be a great equity letter, we can do every other month on the home life and then do an equity letter on the off month. That works too. So it doesn't matter. You can also use an equity letter in your farm. That's fine. But you can't always do an equity letter in your farm, but you targeting prospecting, you have to have the essential pieces to be able to do the equity letter. Does that make sense? So the farm doesn't have to have it, but the equity letter must. Does that make sense? What questions might I have? Because I've actually stayed in time. I'm so proud of myself.
The actual execution on some of this stuff, I mean, home life you said is through Claire.
My marketing matters. Let me see if I can get to it.
Wait, is home life my marketing matters?
Yes, it's my marketing
It's the
matters.
same thing. Let's do
Mhm. Yeah, so we're gonna see if I can do it. Can everybody see my screen right now, guys, online? Can you see Propel?
this. Can't hear.
Yes, we can.
Oh, you guys.
Because the concept and all this makes sense, but then when I go into the systems, I think that's where the disconnect happens, and then I get frustrated and I say, I'll call Claire, and then she's busy, and then.
Well, you could literally do it yourself. Let me show you, but it's easier. I leave those things to her because they change all the time and I can't keep up with
Well, that's
everything.
just it, when I get in there and I start messing with it, that's when I start to get a little bit frustrated and lost, and I'll say I'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow never comes.
Let me see my marketing matters. Print collateral, direct mail, that's gotta be it. Let's see. You know what, maybe I'll make her do a training on this. And then you can all just do it once with her online. And then you'll know where it is. So we go in here. And this may work, it may not, because I never do this. So we'll just see. And let's see if it says home life. That's interesting. Okay. Direct mail postcards, print only brochures. Okay, well, see, here's the question. I'm already going, what the hell is it? Any one of you do this already? Is it direct mail postcards?
Or if you scroll down, you see home life.
Oh, home life. Yeah, thank you. Home life. There we go.
Good job.
Good job. No, I have no clue. Okay, see you go. Pick a product, pick an area, we take care of the rest. There you go. All right, I love it. No automatic marketing schedule, no setup fees. I love it. Okay, they have trackable QR codes too. Huh? These are the different ones. So here, this one's really huge, 11 by 17. I don't recommend that one, honestly. I think it's ginormous. This one is really cool, the trifold, but I feel like this one is also ginormous. I really like this trifold. This is my favorite. 9 by 12 and 12.5. This is one of my favorite ones. Yeah, this is what it looks like. See, so it has the neighborhood report, it has what's been going on, it has some cool little, and then it has a QR code, has some cool information.
The first one, the one that I used to receive in my, the biggest one, and I said, oh my God.
It's huge.
White board. Everybody
Yeah,
puts
you're
in the
gonna
trash, I put it in the trash every month.
No, I just felt like it's too big. Then they have these postcard mailers.
That's not bad. It
No.
makes sense.
I don't like the flat ones. I like the full ones,
Yeah.
but I'm a little, picky. So like you could say, let's say you pick this one, design style. Oh, that just shows you that. Hold on. Let's say we say check availability. Let's do this one. Check availability. I don't know what that means. Oh, where'd it go? Did I do something wrong? Oh, okay. Let's say 34786. House number?
Can you upload a list?
Yes, you can upload a list.
You might not cover all eight.
No, remember, if someone has that, you can. It's exclusive. But the chances of you getting it is great because not many people use this.
No.
Oh, only exclusive within our company, other company.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's only exclusive in our company. See,
But it's by fleet or does it?
see, once per address, once per recipient. I don't understand
So
what
once you're locked into that, other people can't use it?
that, no,
Not for this
Ooh.
month,
nah,
Dude,
for a specific month.
not for the whole time but while you're using it,
Yeah.
no one else
And
can.
if you don't renew it,
No, I did it.
Yeah, someone else can.
so if you don't. if you
No,
don't-
I think you have to use it for 6 months, but I could be wrong. This is why we need Claire, because I don't really know.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Let's,
I think-
someone give me a listing in Windermere. Do we have one?
But
Or-
it's new.
Or do you have a listing? Does anybody have a listing?
So.
Linda?
number- You have-
Oh, no.
what is it?
Lynn, what's your house, what's your listing?
Well, you don't need a listing, you just need a house number, right?
Enter house number and street
Give her
name.
Your house number, you wanna check.
But it's not Windermere.
My
Wait,
zip code or my number?
She wants to do that with me.
16148 Old Terra Point.
Tara. But it's not Windermere, is it?
No,
And
it's
she wants to do that.
three
for you,
four
so-
756.
756. Yeah, I just have to
Yeah.
change the zip. Oh, now I have to.
148,
148.
yeah.
Well,
That's
hopefully
what,
you
yeah,
wanted to do that with me.
that's what, exactly. I'm going to be the first to take it. Don't take it.
I already got mine right here, so.
Okay, there it is. I'm gonna say accept.
Really good.
Yeah, that's all.
Now I don't know what you do.
Yeah.
See, now I don't know what you do though. So this is the problem. This
But
is why.
that's-
So I don't know what to do here. You need Claire. No, I have no idea.
Down.
Okay, we got to work with somebody who knows what the hell they're doing because I'm not clue.
Yes. 'Cause this is
Yeah.
the thing that was.
But guys, this is what you do. You do something cool here and
Yeah.
then you can design it and it's super cool and it's great. Listen, I can't know everything, guys, you know? I knew it was home life.
Okay, so, so we'll get with Claire on that.
Yeah, with Claire on that. All right. So I'm going to say goodbye, everybody. Thanks for joining and see you later. Bye.
Okay.